This is a quick tutorial to show you how easy it is to use metrics4j in your application. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use an application that I created called Kafka Monitor, which monitors topics in Kafka and reports lag metrics. I'm switching the application over to use metrics4j, and I decided to add a couple more metrics, and I'm going to record what it takes to do that. So the first thing you need in your application is to include the metrics4j dependency. You can see I've included it here. This is an early beta, but you just, whatever version that you have available, put it in here. The next thing you do is create an interface. And I've created this one already, but the interface is simply a way of defining the entry points for the metrics that you want to report. So there's two cases where I want to report some metrics. I want to report the raw offsets that this monitor has read, and I want to report the number of partitioned offsets that this application has read. Now, I name the methods according to what I want to record, and the return value for this is going to be a collector, and it's going to be at this point, metrics4j supports long collectors, double collectors, and string collectors. In my case, I'm just reporting counts, so I'm going to use a long collector. And notice that there's nothing to say whether this is a gauge or a rate or anything else like that. All of that is defined at runtime by the configuration. So now that I have this in place, let's go to one of my classes where I want to use it, and I'll show you how to do that. So in the partitioned offset reader, I want to use my monitor stats and record the partitioned offsets read. So I'm going to create a line that looks a lot like my logger statement. And I'm going to have this be a monitor stats, and I'm going to use my metric source manager to get a source, and I'm going to give it the name or the class name for the stats object that I want to return. And the name of that interface can be anything. Now, what I'm telling the metrics4j is that I want to use that class and the definitions I've made to report my metrics. Metrics4j goes and gets that interface, implements it using a proxy, and returns me an actual object at runtime, which can actually change depending on how the configuration is set up. Now I'm going to go report some stats. So let's go down to the class or the method I have. And right here I have a to-do left. It says record the number of records read. So stats dot partition to offsets read, and the value that's come back is my collector, and I'm going to put a value into it. And the value I'm going to put in is records.count. And that's it. Now I'm going to go to my other class that I want to record this into, is my raw offsets read. And I've got the same situation here. In fact, I'm just going to copy and paste it from my other class because it is identical, exactly the same line. So here we go. I'm going to put my stats class in here as well. And if I go down to the bottom, I'm going to put in this almost the same. This will be different because I'm going to record a different metric here. Stats dot raw offsets read, put records count. And that's it. Pretty simple. As you can see, I don't deal with a lot of the nuances about the data. A lot of that is configured at runtime by the application user. And that's it. Thank you.